everyone! Today we're making one of my favorite types of recipes, which is a crock pot recipe, and what makes this recipe even better is that it's a crock pot dump recipe. So very minimal prep, you just plop it all into your crock pot liner, set it and forget it, and then you can just enjoy it right when it's done. So we are making a ham potluck bake, and the idea of the flavors that are going to be in here are potatoes and ham and cheese, and that's pretty much it. Super simple, super quick to make. So I have my crock pot liner here, and what we're going to do is we are going to add frozen shredded potatoes. So the recipe calls for 20 ounces of frozen shredded potatoes or hash browns. My container is a 30 ounce. Basically, whatever big bag of shredded potatoes you can find in your freezer aisle, that's good. I'm not gonna measure out 20 ounces. I'm just gonna put in all 30 ounces that I have here. So, quite a lot of potatoes. Luckily, the rest of our ingredients aren't going to take up too much volume within our crock pot. It'll be a little full, but it'll cook down as our potatoes cook down. Into our crock pot with our potatoes, we're going to add 1.5 cups of shredded carrot, which I have grated already. Our ham, the recipe calls for 9 ounces, or about a half cup. I don't know about that. Our recipe calls for 9 ounces of diced ham. So you can buy your own chunk of ham and dice it up. For convenience, I just purchased pre-diced ham. And my bag is only 8 ounces, but close enough. If I can even get in here. Sheesh. Finally. And if you want more ham or less ham, do as you please. I like a nice meaty dinner, so if you want more, by all means go for it. And then we're going to add a tablespoon of dry onion flakes. Now, this is also like dehydrated onion. If you don't have this, go ahead and add however much of fresh yellow or white onion you'd like. Again, super convenient to just use dry onion flakes, but I like the flavor that onion has to bring to the party, so I did about 2 tablespoons in there. And again, if you're using fresh onion, maybe a quarter to a half cup of onion, depending on how much of that flavor you want in your dish. Now, I'm going to attempt to stir this all without making a mess, because as you can see, we are quite full. Once you have it decently incorporated, it doesn't have to be quite perfect because we're going to give it another stir once we add the remaining ingredients. We're going to add a can of cream soup. The recipe calls for cream of mushroom. I just happen to have cream of chicken in my pantry instead of cream of mushroom. I don't think it's going to be an issue at all. I don't know if I'd use cream of celery though. That one is just it's not my favorite cream soup to use. All right, next we're going to add a quarter cup of milk. The recipe calls for skim. I just have unsweetened oat milk. An 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper. We shouldn't have to worry about the salt because our ham is quite salty, so that should salt our dish well. And we can always salt it later when we finish it up, before we serve it. And last, but definitely not least, the recipe calls for 3/4 cup of grated shredded cheddar cheese, and I just don't think that's enough. So I think I have about a cup or a little bit more than a cup of shredded sharp cheddar here. And I have no shame in adding extra cheese. Who doesn't like extra cheese? All right, this is... Do your best to give it a stir and not make a complete mess. This is where we want to try and get all of the potatoes coated with the cream soup and get the cheese all distributed evenly throughout. The frozen potatoes might make it a little more difficult to get the cream soup spread around because the cream soup might want to thicken a little bit. How easy was that? I mean, the harder parts were shredding your cheese if you didn't buy pre-shredded, shredding your carrots, and dicing your ham if you didn't buy cubed ham. So, super simple prep, great for a weeknight or a weekend where you have a busy day but you want a home-cooked meal ready for you at the end of the day. And then we just plop it right into our crock pot. And we're gonna turn it on low, put the lid on, and let it go for 6 to 8 minutes. And now you can go off and take care of or enjoy the rest of your busy day, and I'll meet you guys back here for dinner time. So we finished up our busy day, and it's been 6 hours, and our ham potluck bake is done, and it's ready for us to enjoy. First things first, let's take a look and give it a stir. Look at that golden, got a little bit of the golden potatoes on the side, but it didn't stick to our crock pot liner, so no worries about that. Oh, it looks so creamy and delicious. It's such a hearty dish with potatoes and meat and cheese, but it is so easy to put together. I know you can't smell it, but it smells nice and hearty too. Let's give it a try. We'll make sure we have a piece of ham in there with our cheesy potato goodness. Cheers. We were right about the salt. We definitely did not need to add any more salt. The ham takes care of that perfectly. There's sweetness from the carrots, so if you're not a big fan of carrots, you can leave them out if you want to, or just use less. It just adds a little bit of a nutrient bump to your dinner. But come on, how easy was that? You dumped all of your ingredients into the crock pot, let it set, gave it a stir, served it up. What more could you want? Go give this super satisfying dinner a try and let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'd love to hear. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me, hit that subscribe button and that bell so you know when I drop the next recipe. And thank you all for watching. Enjoy!